Hey guys, this is Josh. You guys know me as DE-Evo Project on Doc's Modding Forums. Over here, my co-star, Mr. Johnny Rotten Jameson. Good fella. He's very, very professional. I'm getting you guys the review that I told you I'd get up about these eBay mesh head mods from Camaro Freak 1969, I think the seller's name on there. I know I told you guys like 4 or 5 months ago I'd get them up, but I've been busy. I had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of semi-unfortunate things happened that I had to work through and get taken care of before I get back to playing. But here I am back on the computer, back on the forum, and I'm going to try and get you videos here. I'm going to go ahead and apologize for the quality of the video. I'm shooting on my HTC, my brand new HTC Evo 4G. Oh yeah. Great phone. Awesome, amazing Android phone. I love it to death. And Sprint's been a really good network for me. But the camcorder, even though it's an 8 megapixel camera and shoots in 720p, which I'm trying to shoot in right now, it's not a handheld dedicated camcorder, so it's not going to be all that great quality. Please try and bear with me. I'm just trying to get you guys what I promised, and in a fairly informative and reasonable fashion. This video is probably going to be in like 2, maybe 3 parts. First part, I'm just going to kind of show you guys around and give you guys a couple of the things that I ran into with these heads and how durable they've been. The second part, I'm going to try and give you the little, David Sheck approved tests, like rebound sensitivity and how loud they are when you're hitting them with a stick. First, I'll let you guys check out my kit here. Let me back up a little bit. I'm using an Ion kit with the Ion controller. They're stock Ion heads, just with the new mesh, or stock Ion pads with the new mesh heads, rather. I've got a Rode hi-hat wedge and a stock Ion ride and crash cymbals. The ride, the crash, and the hi-hat all came from Kinetic Artists. Really good guy on the forum. I'm sure you guys know him. Really nice guy. Really hooked me up with these things. I really appreciate it. And the hardware for the cymbals was bought from NewEnglandMusicSupply.com, run by El Babo on here. I'm sure you guys know him too. Good business guy, good prices. I mean, he's really just doing it out of the... he's just doing it to do it, I guess. He's not really in it to make a whole lot of money. He's got the best prices you're going to find on anything, and he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever talk to. So give him a call, and I'm sure he can hook you up with some good stuff for your Rock Band kit. Me personally, I need a new throne. I got a little crappy first act throne that makes my thighs go numb if I sit there too long. Kind of a pain. We'll be talking to you, El Babo. Have me one of those cool thrones ready, man. Down here I got the Roland KD8 kick pedal, or kick trigger, and a Pearl. Zoom in a little bit here. There's the Pearl pedal I got that came, the KD8, the kick pedal, all came with the Ion kit I bought it all used, and there's the Rode kick box that you gotta have if you've got one of the real kick triggers. Works really well. We got a little Sabian stick bag down here just for just to hold my sticks and stuff. Nothing major. Pretty basic kit for what some of these guys have as far as a dedicated Rock Band kit. But it works really well for me, and it's a lot closer than that little molded plastic Rock Band branded kit. So it's worked out really well. I really enjoyed it, and I've been even using this in Freeform to do my drum lessons that I was taking, trying to learn the real deal. Now, as far as these mesh heads themselves, they're a really heavy-duty plastic screen, like the pet-rated stuff that we'd sell at Home Depot when I worked there, and they're 2-ply, so they're 2 layers thick of this pet screen, sewed to a really thick-walled, like, I'd say like 1/4-inch OD diameter plastic tubing. The tubing's been around in like molded together. It's actually like, looks like it was heated up and like glued together and then went over with like some epoxy or something to make it really strong. And then the heads are sewn on with what looks like fishing line, really, you know, kind of clear plastic, heavy duty fishing line, like 50-pound probably or more. So I really wasn't worried about the heads coming loose. I know a lot of you guys on the forum that saw them and saw how kind of like wide the loops were around there. You thought maybe it'd tear loose. I haven't had that problem yet. I've taken them apart at about 4 months of use and looked at them, and there was no sign that anything was fraying or coming apart or tearing through or anything like that. And I'm a pretty heavy-handed guy. Especially during really fast songs, I get excited and I get confused and I start just banging on pads trying to get through the tough sections sometimes. But I tend to hit them pretty hard, and I haven't had any problems with denting, no scarring, nothing uneven. I mean, they've held up really, really, really well. To be honest, they held up a lot better than I thought they would. I thought they might be like a 6-month thing that I'd have to replace, you know, and I figured I was going to be replacing them with like either new like Pentec ContraCast pads or with like a Roland or Pentec head. But they've held up really well, so now I have time to save up and buy the pads I really want eventually, or work on building my actual drum kit for practice and for playing with my buddies and stuff like that. But really a lot more durable than most of you guys, I'm sure, thought they were, and a lot more durable than even I thought they were. They run a little under $40 for all 4 of them shipped, and they come with the head on the plastic ring and this really thick, like open-celled, let me see, there we go, really thick, like open-celled white foam. It's like that thick. It's really, I mean, it's like 1.5 inches thick, which is kind of surprising, almost 2 inches thick. This you have to really compress to get these heads on here. I mean, you have to really bear down and get it pushed down. And even then, the rings are kind of hard to get back together. But once you get on there, the heads are really nice and tight. It feels really good and gives you some of that nice rebound. A couple of things that were mentioned. He says in the forum and on eBay that he didn't have to do any modding. I was not that lucky, I guess. The white foam that he sent me was a little oversized, and I had to cut it down, but I thought that was kind of a good thing. That way it's not some little undersized, small piece here. Had to cut it down to make it fit just right, but it fit fine. And then the color ring. I know he says that you can put the trim rings back in here to get the, you know, red, yellow, blue, and green pad identifiers on. I couldn't get them to fit. I couldn't get, it wasn't from how tight they were from the foam. It was the little plastic ring in there that it's sewed to. The color ring wouldn't pop down over that and still be able to get this on at the same time. The only way I was able to get this ring back on was by the force of the screws actually popping this ring over it. By actually having them down in front if I could screw them and kind of use the compressing force of the screws to pop the ring back down over it. Once I got them on there, they're great, but saying that it could still use a color ring, I didn't find that to be the case with me. Maybe if you guys talk to him, he can tell you the right way to do it, or his way of doing it, that it worked. But I couldn't do it and get the screws to meet up with the little nut on the back at all. The other thing, he said no modding. I had to take out the little black foam that was on this disc, that was on the plastic disc in there. This closed-celled, really dense, really thin stuff. I still had to take that off because I just couldn't get the head on with that and the foam and all that other stuff. It just didn't work out for me. So, yeah, I couldn't get it to register, too. I could get it on there and get it kind of screwed on, but I couldn't get it compressed really well, and it just wasn't registering with that foam piece underneath the open-cell foam. So I took that off, and it registered just fine. It works really well. And that's kind of just the overview of these things. I'll make another video here shortly, and I'm going to try and post them all at one time so I can get the whole review done and get it up for you guys of how everything works. But that was just kind of a look at them to see how they work. I wish I had one of my ion pads still on, but I don't. And right now I'm not really going to take the time to put them back on. Maybe later I'll make a short video with both of them so you can see them side by side. But that's it for part 1. You guys stick around and go watch part 2. Probably be over here. Pick up part 2 and see how it works out for you. Alright, we'll be back here shortly to let you guys see all the little tests for them.